वो तो कह रहे हैं कि उनकी मंशा सरकार डुबाने की नहीं है, उनकी मंशा ये है कि ये एनसीपी और कांग्रेस के साथ उद्धव ठाकरे युति तोड़ दे, भाजपा के साथ जुड़ जाएं, लेकिन सबसे पहले ये कांग्रेस और एनसीपी के साथ ये युति तोड़ दें।
क्यों तोड़ दें भाई?
क्योंकि वो कहते हैं कि ये शिवसेना का नुकसान कर रहा है। शिवसेना अपने आइडियोलॉजिकल पोजीशन से हट रहा है और ये मुझे दिख रहा है, ये गलत हो रहा है, और ऐसा बहुत सारे शिवसैनिक मानते हैं, ये उनका कहना है।
2014 में शिवसेना बीजेपी चुनाव अलग अलग लड़ी थी
सर। 2014 को तो 8 साल हो गए, पिछले 2.5 साल में क्या हुआ है वो उसकी बात कर रहे हैं।
2.5 साल में कौन जनता विरोध कर रही है? आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के बीजेपी से पूरी जनता विरोध कर रही है। अग्निपथ में अग्निकांड हो गए जिसका मैं विरोध करता हूँ।
अग्निपथ में अब अगर विपक्ष कोई कांड करेगा तो वो सेना के खिलाफ करेगा, क्योंकि तीनों सेना के प्रमुख आके कह चुके हैं कि अग्निपथ देश की भलाई के लिए है, देश को और सुदृढ़ करने के लिए और सिक्योर करने के लिए है, और हमारी फौज की एवरेज एज को 32 से 26 करने के लिए है। अगर आप ये सब चाहते हैं तो फिर उसकी बात ना करें। अभी तो आपके वहां जो अग्निपथ चल रहा है उसकी बात करते हैं। अभी आपके यहाँ आपके ही खेमे में जो चल रहा है तांडव, उसकी बात करते हैं।
हमारे कोई खेमे में तांडव नहीं चल रहा है।
अच्छा, तो फिर ये 35 विधायक सूरत में क्यों बैठे हैं एकनाथ शिंदे के साथ? संदीप घोष।
नहीं।
अच्छा, चलिए दूसरों की बात भी सुन लेते हैं। संदीप घोष एंड देन स्वप्निल कोठारी. Swapnil Kothari will be very upset with me today. He's a good friend of mine, but in the afternoon we had so many news breaks, he never got to speak for about 40 minutes when I was on the broadcast. I apologize, Swapnil, for that, but that was beyond my control because you saw what was happening. Yes, Sandeep, go ahead, please.
No, that's fine.
Okay. You see, this is a very interesting situation, as you said. First of all, how come Shiv Sena had no clue? Sanjay Raut and the entire Matushri network and team. So there is something much more to it than meets the eye. And I would not dismiss it as that failed experiment of what happened with Ajit Pawar and Devendra Fadnavis immediately after. That was, I think, a very, very knee-jerk reaction because BJP felt betrayed at that point in time, having gone and fought the election with Shiv Sena and Shiv Sena ditching them after that on the plea of splitting of the CM ship. And so today it sounds a bit ironical when people are talking about BJP trying to defeat the constitution. I don't think that was ethical at all for someone to go to fight the election together and then ditch him and go and exactly what Congress had tried to do in Karnataka and paid a heavy price for it, aligning with the opposition. So that's how they did it here. But I think there was a general discomfort within the Maha Aghadi and may not be to which we at least outsiders didn't see to this extent. And that's why you had the whole issue in the Rajya Sabha elections, you had the MLC elections. All these were, I think, telltale signs that all was not right within Maha Aghadi. And before that, if you see Raj Thackeray also taking a very, very vocal position against the Shiv Sena and kind of pro-BJP. All this was showing that there is essentially, that is where the ideological point which you are making, Anand, Shiv Sena, original people, all said and done, they have lived, right or wrong, we may or may not subscribe to their ideology, but they were all inspired by Balasaheb Thackeray, and who himself stayed out of power for a long time because he did not wish to compromise on his basic ideology. Now they are suddenly finding that there is a lot of dilution in that, and the reason for the dilution is essentially to stay in power, and power not of the party, power is of the family. And I think that has made people like Shinde and others who have been old guard of the party, who have given their lives and entirely, they are the people who suddenly feel marginalized, and that is what is causing them discomfort.
Right.
So now, how this has been, whether it's been engineered, it's entirely an internal coup, or there is an external influence. There are various theories, whether it's BJP or some other people are alleging something else, that there could be somebody else who was insecure in the MVA, who are probably wanting to dislodge it and have a different combination. But MBA itself was shaky, and that's, I think, what's prompted all these action, and has suddenly gathered momentum, and as you say, it's fast heading towards a tipping point.
True. Swapnil Kothari coming across to you, and I have to share this with you and also my viewers, because Lieutenant Colonel Munish Ahuja is watching the broadcast and he sent me something very interesting, and I was reading it, mere hosh ud gaye. There is a Bharat Gupta ji who on November 9, 2021 had said tough times for MVA government in Maharashtra started from 7th November 2021, acid test till 8th August 2022. Misleading and untrue statements will certainly land them in trouble. More challenging days ahead, may survive but with lots of damage done. Then interestingly, are we going to witness something very soon? MVA government is on shaky grounds. Between 24th and 27th June, expect some high octane action. MVA fall, very, very high chances. He has predicted this. He seems to be an astrologer because he says unka bura time November se chalu hua aur August 2022 tak chalega. That's what his predictions are. But quite eerie, the coincidence on the dates, 2 or 3 days here and there. But how is it that the Shiv Sena did not know that the revolt is brewing, and that too to these kind of Garangutan levels?
Absolutely, Anand. Unfortunately, this is a clear case of implosion where the party seems to be, caught unawares. And it's more bemusing than amusing that people at the helm of affairs did not know that a certain amount of favoritism would land up marginalizing the old guard. And the old guard would really, sort of land up in a coup. And whether, they shake hands with someone else, or whether they say that we are the real Sena, is something for them to look out, and something, in either case, it's the Shiv Sena which is the loser here, and which is going to lose very, very tremendously. Even if it comes out of this particular, mess, it still is going to be on a very, very shaky wicket. It's been on a sticky wicket since quite about 2.5 years that it's been power. Firstly, because of COVID, and the way they've handled COVID quite effectively well, I must say that. And, Mr. Thackeray has kept himself quite away from all of these controversies and has focused on his work. But at the same time, things around him and the way the law and order situation worked in the state itself seems to, take it away from him as far as certain aspects were concerned, and said that, look, I think, this is, and as you've narrated quite a few incidents where the old guard felt that this far and no further, and this is what it seems to be, that where they've, sort of really, really risen up the ranks in their own minds and said that, look, we are the real people, and if, our leader is not, according to us, paving the way or, following the old ideals, then so be it. And the anti-defection law is not going to come around to the rescue of the Shiv Sena, simply because if there are more than 36 MLAs, which is 2/3 as per the 91st Amendment,
yes,
then obviously, it's a death knell, in either case. For the
well, that number comes to 36.2, and that's why we are saying 37. And if there, and he's just too short right now. Eknath Shinde, as we speak, is just too short, and they are saying आज देर रात तक वो number वो आंकड़ा पार हो जाएगा, is what we are given to understand.
बढ़ जाएगा, because here, from what I heard last on another channel, was that the two did have a talk, and it kind of lasted for about 10 minutes or so. But I don't think any.
Well, that's where I will say that the chat never happened, sir, because I'm going to quote.
May not have.